The United States Open. It is the toughest test in professional bowling, won by some of the sport's greatest names, including the living legend, Pete Weber. In fact, PDW has won the Open 4 times. And today, in the 69th edition of this great tournament, the 49-year-old will try for a record number 5. Standing in his way, Ryan Schaefer, the perennial bridesmaid who has never won a major, despite making 13 televised finals, as well as the red-hot two-hander, Jason Belmonte, and number 1 seed Mike Fagan, the Masters winner who is trying for back-to-back major titles. Weber must get past them all to become the greatest U.S. Open champion ever. And welcome, everybody, the 69th U.S. Open, the Brunswick Zone Carolier. North Brunswick, New Jersey is the site. With Randy Peterson, I'm Gary Thorne. This is the toughest stop for these bowlers, the U.S. Open. We'll talk about why as we go along. We are ready to go. 394 started. The cut went down to 98. That went to 24, and those 24 bowled 24 games each in the round-robin round. And that's part of what makes it so tough. We will kick it off. Number 4, Pete Weber. Number 3, Ryan Schaefer.
Ryan Schaefer, a 5-time runner-up in majors. Pete Weber looking for his 5th U.S. Open crown.
And the winner of that will face number 2, Jason Belmonte.
The hottest player on the planet, eyeing his first major.
And waiting for that final is Mike Fagan.
Mike Fagan looking to become the first back-to-back major winner since Norton Duke did it in 2008.
And they all wanted desperately to say they won the U.S. Open. We're ready to go. Let's meet the bowlers.
The number 4 seed owns 35 PBA Tour titles, is a 4-time U.S. Open champion from St. Ann, Missouri. PBA Hall of Famer PDW, Pete Weber.
All right, Pete, you know what to do. Just let the ball go.
You're listening to him live. He is the number 4 seed. And we're underway for the U.S. Open. And he got it.
That's a bad man right there, Gary. He once killed 2 stones with 1 bird.
And Lady Luck, they've all talked about Lady, see? Lady Luck riding with them. There's a little hint early.
Check out the messenger. The head pin goes to the sidewall, kicks the 10 out, and there's vintage PDW.
The number 3 qualifier is a 4-time PBA Tour champion and former PBA Rookie of the Year, making his 14th career major final appearance. From Horseheads, New York, Ryan Schaefer.
This is the bridesmaid. We'll use that term over and over again regarding Ryan Schaefer. It's how good he is. He has finished 2nd in 5 majors and been in the top 4 in 13 majors, but is looking for his first majors win. And Schaefer's underway. Well, we kick it off with a couple of strikes. Ryan Schaefer, we asked him, why is this U.S. Open so tough?
I mean, you just beat yourself up every shot you throw. I mean, you just miss by a crack, and I mean, the ball just goes wherever. It's just hard to believe that lanes can be that tough, and we can bowl that good.
He's talking about the oil pattern, of course, here for the U.S. Open, which is different than in any other tournament that they bowl in, and the most difficult pattern.
And there you see it, second frame in. I guess arduous is the word that I would use, Gary, but when asking Ryan last night, he told us the lane conditions, they're horrible. They're impossible. But that makes this tournament so great.
And you do have to make adjustments, and you have to make them quickly. It is a stepladder format, so you've got to win to move on, and you just don't have much time to think about what the strategy is going to be once you get started. And a key at the U.S. Open, making spares.
Avoiding open frames.
You've got to make your spares. Tough one.
Just like that. I mean, if you're going to shoot a split, the baby split's the one you want to shoot at. But you're exactly right. The key is to keep the ball in play, keep your target in front of you, avoid the big splits in the open frames, and then hope that you're lucky enough to somehow string a couple strikes together.
Yeah, all four of the finalists, when we talked to them last night, said spares. I mean, generally, you hear them talking about strikes all the time, but here in the U.S. Open, it's about you've got to make your spares and can't leave it open. Pete Weber started with a strike. Ooh. Not the split you want to see.
The 410. And this is what you see, or what we're going to see all day long. And as the lanes break down in transition, the players need to stay on top of that. It doesn't take much of an errant shot. Pete's going to get his ball over in here and throw that 4-pin into the 7.
Wow.
It doesn't take much. It's, an inch left or right of target with the wrong hand, wrong release, wrong speed, and it's going to be an open frame.
And even here, you can't afford many of those, despite the fact it's tough. Talking about the oil pattern and why it's so tough here, Rand.
42 feet in length, extremely flat. We'll get into it a little bit more in a bit, but it is by far the toughest oil pattern on tour. Just to give you a little nugget, over 8,000 games bowled throughout this tournament, only one 300 game by Jason Couch.
Think about that. Whoever needs to get back with a strike. Does.
He's locked in and looks good on the left lane. He'll need to make an adjustment and figure out what to do on the right lane.
It's a nice comeback. And you see signaling himself there what he was up against and trying to make that quick adjustment. Now Ryan Schaefer. Schaefer trying to take advantage of that open frame now and this dig into an early lead here. Nice ball.
And you can see how deep Ryan Schaefer is already, and we've just started. The players beat the old pattern up pretty good in practice. Ryan Schaefer is already playing between third and fourth arrow.
He was the one who talked most about making the spares. He was joking. He said, you go to tournaments, you wonder whether you're going to bring your A, B, or C game with you. He said, I came here to the U.S. Open and figured I got my E game with me. He said, that's how tough these lanes are and how tough it is to stay focused on it. Working here on the strike. And he'll leave one.
Interesting, Ryan going through the nose twice on the left lane. Pete Weber's locked in on the left lane. Pete goes through the nose on the right lane. The difference in styles, the difference in bowling ball rotation. A nice break here, though, and tripping the split out. And again, another key throughout the course of a U.S. Open tournament is you're going to go through the nose. It's how many times can you break up the big split and only leave yourself with a single and spare.
For the spare. And he got it. But already you have seen in our first match just how tough these lanes can be, each with a couple of strikes. Pete Weber, Ryan Schaefer, Weber seated number 4, and Schaefer number 3 here at the U.S. Open. The 69th U.S. Open is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Alka-Seltzer Plus. Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels provide more complete cold relief than NyQuil. By DV8. Tonight, we bowl. And by the USVC and its 2 million members. To find out more about USVC, log on to bowl.com today.
I have a cold. I took NyQuil, but I'm still stuffed up.
Truth is, NyQuil doesn't unstuff your nose.
Really?
Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels fight your worst cold symptoms, plus it relieves your stuffy nose.
Thank you.
That's the cold truth.
Today my journey continues across the Golden State, where everyone has been unbelievably nice. Morning. I guess I am helping them save hundreds on car insurance. It probably also doesn't hurt that I'm a world-famous advertising icon. Cheers. I mean, who wouldn't want a piece of that?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I have COPD. If you have it, you know how hard it can be to breathe and what that feels like. COPD includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Spiriva helps control my COPD symptoms by keeping my airways open a full 24 hours. Plus, it reduces COPD flare-ups. Spiriva is the only once-daily inhaled COPD maintenance treatment that does both, and it's steroid-free.
Spiriva does not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms. Tell your doctor if you have kidney problems, glaucoma, trouble urinating, or an enlarged prostate. These may worsen with Spiriva. Discuss all medicines you take, even eye drops. Stop taking Spiriva and seek immediate medical help if your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, vision changes or eye pain, or problems passing urine. Other side effects include dry mouth and constipation.
Nothing can reverse COPD. Spiriva helps me breathe better.
Does breathing with COPD weigh you down? Ask your doctor if Spiriva can help.
When you have tough pain, do you want fast relief? Try Bayer Advanced Aspirin. It has microparticles, so it enters the bloodstream fast and rushes relief to the site of your tough pain. It's proven to relieve pain twice as fast as before. Bayer Advanced Aspirin.
Jimmy?
Steve?
Vake's Fox Valley Coin and Diamonds, etc. in Kimberly is the place to sell coins, currency, gold, jewelry, diamonds, watches, or silverware and get the cash you deserve. If you're a buyer, you'll be amazed at the selection we have. There's something for everyone. Vake's Fox Valley Coin and Diamonds is owned by Fritz Vakes and his family and has been serving customers since 1964. If you have jewelry, diamonds, coins, watches, or silverware, bring them to Fox Valley Coin and Diamonds, etc., your local jeweler in downtown Kimberly.
Welcome to Van Obels of Hollandtown, the family-friendly place that features delicious home-style food. Whether you need a night out with your family and friends, a full-fledged banquet facility, catering, or carry-out, Van Obels of Hollandtown can do it tastefully. Van Obels of Hollandtown, famous for their signature roasted chicken with all the fixins. And check out their full mouth-watering menu at vanobels.com. Van Obels of Hollandtown, treating families to great home-style food since 1848.
In 2007, Pete Weber came here to the Brunswick Zone Carolier as the owner of 3 U.S. Open titles. In the championship match, Weber would take on Wes Smollett, but there would be no denying PDW. As wife Tracy cheered him on, Pete defeated Wes 210 to 204 to capture the 4th Open of his career, tying his late great father Dick Weber as well as Don Carter as the men with the most Open wins. So obviously, if he can take that trophy home again, he will become the only bowler ever to have won the U.S. Open 5 times. That's what's at stake for him today, and he's made it very clear in talking with him this week that it is a monumentally wanted trophy. He would love to be able to win that 5th.
Second all-time, the leader in career major titles, Earl Anthony.
Anthony has 10 majors to his credit. Boy, he had that one lined up.
Really?
See? It's just too bad he's not a showman.
Really?
How tough is it to win this, even though he's won it 4 times? Pete Weber said this.
The elements that make this tournament so tough is the lane conditions, trying to stay away from the splits, making your spares, keeping your patience, not blowing up at the pins, not blowing up at yourself, just trying to keep yourself focused on, when you make a bad shot, forget the bad shot, come back and make sure you throw a good one. I know that's hard to do at this tournament, but the more you keep yourself focused on what's at hand, the easier this tournament is to bowl, but it's still a grind on your mental game, your physical game, and the ability to know how to bowl.
He has 3 strikes. That messenger,
All
not
right.
quite.
That's better than I thought, anyway.
And that's, again, a lot of what you see throughout the course of this tournament. A little bit of an errant shot, not bad. It comes in late, leaves a blower 10. But you saw Pete's reaction to that. It was like, hey, no problem. Okay, it's a single pin spare. Should have no problem covering the 10 pin.
He said one open frame with an 8. He'll get the spare here.
5-pin match through 5 frames. Pete Weber's thrown a double. Ryan Schaefer has yet to throw 2 balls back-to-back in the pocket. He looks good on this right lane. Left lane has been a struggle for him.
Interesting that each of them has picked the other lane to be good on so far.
Push.
And he will be going for the spare.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the difference between a typical house shot and this PBA the U.S. Open oil pattern. Typical house shot, there's dry to the outside, a boatload of oil in the middle part of the lane. So what happens is when you miss outside, the ball hits friction and it hooks back. I'll get to the U.S. Open oil pattern here in a second.
Spare.
All right, so let's talk the U.S. Open oil pattern. U.S. Open oil pattern, dead flat. You get the ball right, it hangs. You get the ball going up or inside target, it's going to go through the nose and it's going to spell disaster. Why not play the outside part of the lane, you ask? Well, that's impossible on a U.S. Open oil pattern. That would be like putting braces on dentures. It just doesn't make sense.
Braces on dentures. Lord Almighty, Randaroo. Ryan Schaefer. He's on for that one. So he follows it up with a strike.
Well, that's a good sign if you're Ryan Schaefer. Now you finally hit the left lane. Just a pinch high on the right lane, avoided the 4-9 split. He's managing things very nicely right now.
The 2 words we have heard from all of the bowlers, but these 4 in particular regarding the U.S. Open. Patience has been number 1. That's been repeated over and over again. You must have patience. You're looking at the other finishers, the top 24, and the 4 who have made it here to this championship round this Sunday. Pete Weber. That's the one that's standing up for him so far when he's run into problems today.
You're looking at 2 players that have a ton of major championship experience under the bright lights, television experience in majors. Ryan Schaefer, Pete Weber.
Stay on.
And it went off. He knew. He knew before it got there that he had not gotten the break he wanted on that, and he will leave that frame
3
open.
times I've missed that pin the last day.
Boy, and this is something that you wouldn't expect from Pete Weber, especially he's trailing in the match. Couldn't have happened at a worse time, but getting back to the experience aspect, this is Pete's 8th U.S. Open telecast. Ryan Schaefer has made the top 5 in majors 17 times. So tons and tons of experience. I'm a bit surprised at what Weber just did there in the 6th.
He talked about his experience being what he thinks brings him the calmness to be able to adjust here at the U.S. Open. He needs a strike here, and he got it.
Well, he needed that. You're right, Gary. But now he's got to hope that Ryan Schaefer doesn't double up here.
Frickin' spare.
Schaefer has not had 2 strikes in a row. Strikes in 1, 3, 6.
It almost seems like Weber bowls better when he gets this attitude he's got now. You know, he's really ticked off about missing that spare. When he's a little more relaxed, he seems to kind of, get a little lapse of concentration.
Ryan Schaefer's talked about getting the lead here at the U.S. Open, and then in the previous rounds, hanging on to it. That's what he's trying to do here. Ooh.
1-2-4-10, Washington. And you can see just how quickly things can change. That looked like it was fast and wide of target out of Ryan's hand. Remember the last time on the right lane, he went just a little bit high, leaving the 4-pin, and this ball goes right through the end of the pattern and never has a chance to hook back.
1-2-4-10. Coming off a strike.
He did make the baby split in the 2nd frame. He needs to make a washout here to stay clean. Nope. Back up.
No. So he'll take the 8, and that's, Randy, that's just what you were talking about that Pete had to hope for. It's happened.
Exactly right. Now it's a 2-pin match.
Yep.
Weber working on a strike in the 7th. Weber can strike out to shoot 223. The max score for Ryan Schaefer, 215. So, again, this is what makes the U.S. Open so great. You see just how quickly things can turn. If Weber makes the 10-pin in the 6th frame, Weber's got the outright lead.
See how Schaefer responds. Pretty darn well, I would say.
See a lot of Brooklyns at the U.S. Open, too, but I'll tell you one guy that doesn't like to see a Brooklyn thrown at him, that's that guy right there.
Re-rack, please.
So easy to do here. You get one shot a little bit wide and it misses a head pin. Right. Real easy to pinch it off and get it going a pinch left. And when you do that on this oil pattern, that's when you start hoping for a Brooklyn strike.
He's got 4 strikes, 2 on the left, 2 on the right.
Don't sissy this ball.
You see what Ryan Schaefer did in terms of averaging through qualifying, 223. Your exempt players there in the middle. The amateur players, some 44 pins shy of Ryan Schaefer. And that's the difference between bowling on a house pattern and not seeing this typical U.S. Open oil pattern.
Lee Weber now looking to catch up here, and that's the way you do it.
Yeah, he's got the lead now.
His wife Tracy on hand watching. How many bowling matches has she set through in his great Hall of Fame career?
Again, you see that demeanor, how it changed when he missed the 10-pin. You know, he was like having a good time out there, and it's really fun to be out here. And now he's PO'd.
Do it right. Do it right.
Strikes in 3 and 4, strikes in 7 and 8. Weber trying for the big finish here, get a lead, put the pressure on. He does.
There you go. That's the Pete Weber that you like to see. That's what you expect to watch during a U.S. Open Finals.
Keep in mind, Weber is the number 4 seed. Schaefer's number 3. You got to win to move on here, and Schaefer, who had the early lead halfway through this match, now fallen behind. Working on a strike. It's another. 2 who are not going to go away. 2 of the veterans on the tour matched up against one another again. There is Michelle. That's Ryan Schaefer's wife on hand here. Who do you think looks more nervous, the wives or the bowlers?
Oh, definitely the wives. The bowlers are numb at this point.
Ryan Schaefer strikes an 8 and 9. Got to do it again.
Ryan Schaefer taking a re-rack on this left lane. He wants to make sure that everything is perfect for this next shot. 10th frame, all important. Who performs in the 10th frame will win this match and move on.
Right down to the final frame. Pete Weber watching intently from the other side. Schaefer not going to get it. He's got to have the spare.
Well, he went Brooklyn the last time on the left lane, tripped the 6 out. He goes through the nose this time, leaving the 3-pin. As soon as it gets halfway down the lane, he knows it's not going to push far enough right. Now to have any chance, he has to convert here. Strike on the fill. Pete Weber is going at a 2:03 pace right now. It would force Weber to mark in the 10th frame.
Schaefer, gotta have it. Got it.
So just decent count here. He will force Weber to mark. And remember, getting a mark at a U.S. Open when you need it, not so easy.
Not so easy, as we've seen in this match early on. Ryan Schaefer looking to finish it out. Oh. Leaves 3.
Never figured out that left lane.
All right, Pete. Come on now. Come on. Stay aggressive with the ball.
So now it's up to Pete Weber.
Stay aggressive.
Any mark.
If you missed it there, he said be aggressive. Pete Weber looking to advance here. It's in his hands. Got it!
That was for you, Rob Stone. A Pete Weber ham bone at the U.S. Open.
So he has defeated Ryan Schaefer. He's going to advance. Jason Belmonte will be up next against him. And for Ryan Schaefer, another tough U.S. Open. Finishes it off with a strike. So the bridesmaid, Ryan Schaefer, will have to play that role yet one more time. And Pete Weber trying to become the first bowler ever to win 5 U.S. Opens. He's giving himself a chance as he's going to move on. The Hall of Famer has won his first match of the 69th U.S. Open.
Rate hikes, the environment. It's a total mess.
3 Budweisers. Then you got traffic.
Fast food.
He probably hasn't had Manny's tacos.
The DMV.
The DVR.
Mondays.
Fridays.
Taxes.
Facebook.
Sunsets. Men in uniform.
Phone bills.
The first kiss. Raw cookie dough.
Salmonella.
Bubble wrap. Puppy breath.
Oh.
My cute neighbor, Sarah.
I'm a competition of the shining sun. The heart of a lion, I'm #1. My game is hot and I just begun. You can't fake my style, sick tricks my whim. You just can't go where I have been.
I leave my close shaves to Barbasol.
Now take that can and shake it. So steady, we ready. We ready.
Better buy Barbasol.
ESPN, the home court of college hoops. For the win! The great moments. Just keep on coming.
Syracuse undefeated no more.
And College Game Day is right in the thick of it.
This is not just a regular game. This is a huge game. How can you lose in this atmosphere?
Saturdays on ESPN and ESPNU. I'm waiting for the world's best to walk my fairways and renew my tradition. First and second round coverage of the Masters coming in April on ESPN.
Well, the crowd got themselves a great first match as the Hall of Famer Pete Weber has beaten Ryan Schaefer and will move on to the second round and is going to try and go from 4-1. The Big East and the Big 12 take center stage for ESPN's big Monday night doubleheader. First 7 Eastern, 2 teams chasing Syracuse. It'll be Notre Dame, Georgetown, 9 Eastern. Thomas Robinson, Kansas. They're looking for a top spot in the Big 12. They take on Oklahoma State. Big Monday presented by Bud Light, ESPN, ESPN3, streaming on ESPN, watch ESPN.com. Well, we couldn't have asked for a much better match than that one. I mean, that one right down to the final frame. That's what you expect to get here. And what we were talking about, the difficulty, Randy, of the U.S. Open because of the way these lanes are oiled, it showed up right away.
It really did, and it was the 7th frame which really turned the match around. Pete Weber misses the 10-pin and then just kind of kicks himself in the rear end, gets the opening from Ryan Schaefer, and then Pete throws the last 6 to close out the match. What will be interesting is, can Pete keep that same intensity for 2 more games and win his 5th U.S. Open title?
How about the fact that at his young age, he still physically, never mind mentally, but physically is able to come out and take a week like this and make it now to the final 3.
I think that's the most amazing part. Is obviously this is a grueling grind mentally, but also physically. And Pete's not a spring chicken anymore. Let's face it. The guy's 49 years old. And to compete at this level at age 49 is really a testament to his great physical ability and his great mental ability.
All right, let's take a look at what we are looking at here in the bowlers.
Let's talk about modern game. Pete Weber was really the innovator of the new modern game. You see how his shoulders are completely open, left hand out in front of him. Jason Belmonte, the two-hander, it's the same kind of thing. Yeah, the style looks completely different, throwing it with two hands, but you notice how the shoulders are wide open? It's almost impossible for Jason Belmonte to pull the bowling ball left. And here's Mike Fagan. It looks like a carbon copy of what Pete Weber's doing. The real high backswing, the left arm out in front, the shoulders wide open. Three totally different styles when you look at them at full speed, but when you really break it down, lots of similarities with these three players.
This is a real interesting match coming up here with a hero going against the man who really loved him. Take a look at what's been going on. A 14-year-old first time made it to the money, and making it of one of 8 women here also made it into the money but did not make it here. Take a look at the headlines from this week. 14-year-old Cameron Doyle has got a bowling lane in his cellar. Finished 61st, the youngest 14 years old ever to do it. Ezzie Parkin finished 21st, first woman to make match play. And the 2012 Hall of Fame inductee Jason Couch finished 15th, but he did have the only 300 game, and Pete Weber is going after his 5th U.S. Open title. That would be a new record. That's all gone on this week. And Pete Weber is ready to go. They will take their warm-ups here as we get set. Belmonte waiting. This is an interesting one. It's the veteran Hall of Famer going against one of the younger stars of the game up and coming. See whether or not that shakes this young star having to look at his hero on the other side.
I have a cold. I took NyQuil, but I'm still stuffed up.
Truth is, NyQuil doesn't unstuff your nose.
Really?
Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels fight your worst cold symptoms, plus it relieves your stuffy nose.
Thank you.
That's the cold truth. The United States Bowling Congress is shaping the future of bowling, helping kids learn the sport the right way and awarding thousands of scholarships every year. USBC supports Special Olympics and America's best when they go for the gold as the home and heart of Team USA. We're reaching for new heights in research, raising the bar with spectacular national tournaments, and have raised millions of dollars to help fight cancer and support veterans. Visit bowl.com to learn more.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Hey, look. Check this out.
Hey, buddy, try this. It's real good. You can do it. Come on. Yeah, try the poke. Come on. Yeah, try it. Yum, yum, yum.
Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wild side.
Your cheating heart will make you weak.
Pepsi Max? Really? Bet you're wondering how they got all that Pepsi taste into a zero-calorie cola.
Yeah.
Sir, you have won Pepsi Max for life! Ah!
I'm back, and you're my first guest.
It's Reach!
You're gonna be famous, kid.
뭐 도와드릴까요? Do you have anything for a headache like Excedrin or Bayer aspirin? Oh, no, I'm not having a heart attack. It's my head.
No, Bayer Advanced Aspirin. This is made for pain.
Bayer Advanced Aspirin has microparticles, enters the bloodstream fast, and safely rushes extra strength relief to the site of your tough pain.
Feel better?
Yeah, thanks for the tip.
For fast, powerful pain relief, use Bayer Advanced Aspirin.
You always wanted the biggest, baddest beard. Keep living the dream with Just for Men mustache and beard.
That gray beard is a new baby.
Really? What? I didn't know how much to pack this season.
Mike, we wash our dishes in that sink.
Yeah, it's also where I wash my briefs. Socks are done. How'd you guys sleep? You sleep good?
ESPN, your NBA destination for games Wednesdays and Fridays.
Brunswick's own Cavalier has hosted the U.S. Open 7 times, more than any other venue. Its first year was 2005, where Chris Barnes met up with the lefty Patrick Allen in the title match. In a real nail-biter, Barnes would go strike 9 spare in the 10th frame to defeat Allen by 1 pin and claim the first major of his career. Now the question is, who's going to take home that trophy in this 69th U.S. Open? So Pete Weber, the number 4 seed coming in, has beaten number 3 Ryan Schaefer. And now Jason Belmonte, who is red hot. I mean, he's really bowling about as well, he thinks, as he can. Will go up against the player he watched growing up. And Pete Weber is going to go first. And it's got to be, you got to have a little butterfly if you're looking at your hero on the other side, don't you?
Well, Jason Belmonte's getting exactly what he wanted, a dream match against Pete Weber. Weber's got a game under his belt. The nerves are gone. Belmonte's coming in fresh. Weber's got a nice blueprint of what the oil pattern's doing, even though they did get practice during the break. So what? Jason Belmonte's got to shake the butterflies quick, get off to a quick start against Weber.
Pete Weber in our second match getting ready to go.
You don't want to get on his bad side.
No.
This guy used to burn paper with a magnifying glass at night.
Why?
Yeah, well, because he's that bad.
Because he can?
You don't want to get on his bad side.
I think you ought to be quiet.
Like for the rest of the show?
No. He got his silence after that one, I'll tell you. Pete Weber's got a strike.
See, that's what...
And he looked right over.
Yeah, he's got
He looked right over to the fan, or whoever it was.
That's why people love to hate him, right? He's just Pete.
The number 2 player is a 2-time PBA Tour champion in 2009, PBA Rookie of the Year. From Orange, New South Wales, Australia, Belmo, Jason Belmonte.
Third year on the tour, 28 years old. Comes in with a wife back home, expecting their second child next month. And when he left home, she said, "You're going to win the U.S. Open." And he got a bit emotional about that last night, talking about it. Let's see how it goes. He's on. What it would mean to win, Jason Belmonte said this.
A win here would mean everything. This is for you to say that you've won the hardest tournament in the world against the best bowlers in the world. You know, there aren't many people in the world who have won this tournament. And it's been going for a very long time. How Pete Weber's won it 4 times, I don't know. I mean, the guy, I don't know if he's really human, because I've bowled this tournament a few times, and to be able to win it 4 times is just...
Well, he's off to a mighty good start here.
Yeah, not a bad start. Swishes the rack the first frame and then trips 4, second frame for a double. Nice way to start. But what's amazing is the 2 completely different lines these 2 are playing. Pete Weber's playing in and hooking it. Jason Belmonte, the man with all of the revolutions and power, is right of Pete, throwing it really hard and really straight.
Pete Weber, after bowling a strike first time around,
yeah,
that 10 again.
I throw it good and get 9.
Yeah, this was a great shot. Now, here's, again, the profile of Pete, that big high backswing. And then what he can do at the bottom of the swing with that rotation, not a lot of players have been able to do it throughout the history of this sport. And that's why Pete can get in and really open up the lane on any oil pattern. But I think that's why also he's been so good at the United States Open.
He will take more time between balls than any of the other bowlers we see. Likes to be patient, quiet. Got it. Remember, he missed in that first match at 10 when he put one in the gutter, and not this time.
Yeah, he taped that thumb hole up in his spare ball, and a little bit better result this time. I think about the only thing that's going to stop these two players in this match, though, is going to be carry. I don't think they're going to have too hard of a time getting to the pocket. I could be wrong. It is the U.S. Open.
You're never wrong, Ren. Never. Doesn't happen.
All right, well, let's see. If he hits the pocket on this ball, then, you know, the crystal ball's working.
Patience, patience, patience.
Can you stop moving over there, please? Please stop moving while I'm on my approach. That's all I ask.
It's much more fun listening to Pete than it is to us, so we'll lay out here often.
No need for me to say a thing.
I said, would you please stop moving in my approach?
Not good when you have the...
I don't know what's hard about that to understand.
I don't know who he's looking at.
He's got the rabbit ears going now. Not good.
All you gotta do is sit still.
Somebody in the stands is what he's talking to. Somebody moving.
3 times now.
Well, you know,
move again, I want to move.
Unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast in this setting. You know, you've got fans sitting down lane, and hard to sit still, especially when you're trying to, you know, get a good look at one of your favorite bowlers. Maybe not their favorite after today, but
Belmonte's got 2 strikes. How much of what Weber does is about Belmonte? Any, or is it real?
No, it's real. I don't think it has anything to do with Jason Belmonte. Pete, the thing about Pete is he's brutally honest. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, obviously, but Pete's honest. I mean, Pete's going to tell it like it is. This is not a show, or this isn't anything to try to get Belmo out of his game plan. He's not that kind of player.
Watches as intently as he bowls. So Belmonte coming away with a spare. Jason Belmonte has not won a major. His best finish in a major, 4th in the World Cup this year.
And again, this is what makes Jason Belmonte so scary. He's using the most aggressive ball in his arsenal, throwing it 100 miles an hour, really straight, with a rev rate over 600.
Did not have, as Randy's pointed out, more opposite styles than what we were seeing in this match.
And they couldn't be playing 2 more completely different lines.
Yeah.
And you would think it would be the exact opposite, because Belmonte possesses all of the power and revs. You would think he would be in trying to hook it and open the lane up. Not the case at all. He's bringing it. I mean, he's coming with a high, hard one, a lot of speed and a lot of bad intentions on Jason Belmonte's side. Now, Weber looking to get back in this, trailing by 11 and looking for a second strike of the match.
You think I'm going to talk when he's getting ready? You're crazy. And he got a strike. Pete Weber won the U.S. Open 4 times. If he could win it a 5th time, he'd be the first to do it. What does he think about that?
This is the tournament I think everybody wants to win, and to win it a 5th time, I mean, that would just be like, wow, man, I did something that Dick Weber and Don Carter didn't do. But you know what, I could never say that I'm better than those 2, because those 2 paved the way for everybody to bowl. So, you know, it would be an honor to win and go ahead of Don and Dad in that category, but then again, it would mean more to me than anything in the whole world.
After his 3rd strike. Yep.
Both Don Carter and Dick Weber won the BPA All-Stars a record 4 times. And then the first U.S. Open was contested in '71, and that's when it went from the BPA All-Star to the U.S. Open. You could see that it's pretty elite company right there. 3 of the greatest the game has ever known. But yeah, to win this event 4 times, and Jason Belmonte said it in his soundbite, it's mind-boggling. Such a brutal, tough tournament to win.
Belmonte trying to maintain his lead.
And this is something you don't see very often from Belmonte because of the style and the shoulders being wide open. Is a shot that's pulled.
So Belmonte with 3 strikes after the spare, and he's got it.
When you watch the two-handed styles of Jason Belmonte, Oscar Palermo, I think the most interesting facet of what they do is their ability to throw the ball at the velocity that they throw it at. It's not hard to throw with 2 hands. It's not hard to create revolutions, obviously, when you use that style. What's hard is to do it and throw it 20 miles an hour. And then to be as precise as these guys are, especially Jason Belmonte, as you see, only bowled 1 game under 200 in match play, which is absolutely mind-boggling. The efficiency, the accuracy of a Jason Belmonte going at that speed with that much power is really a unique and an amazing thing to watch.
Very consistent. He has been very consistent here.
Got to get the pin out of that left gutter before the player can bowl. There we go.
Belmonte was talking about what we've mentioned, all saying you've got to have patience here in the U.S. Open. He says, I am not a patient person. He's had to work on that this week to keep himself under control, to be patient, and not to rev things up. And this ball's revved up, but he doesn't want to be revved up. He waited, and will leave 2.
Yeah, you're right, Gary. He said that patience is a tough thing for him to come by. The tournament was only half over, and Jason Belmonte was like, man, what am I doing? I'm only halfway through this event.
That's when he kind of got a hold of himself and kind of settled himself down. Now he's going after the spare. He has 3 strikes so far. Oh, got it.
Yeah. 2-8, not the easiest spare to shoot at on this oil pattern.
Now let's take a look at the fast, safe pain relief replay brought to you by the makers of Bayer Advanced Aspirin. Got to have that one. Cannot leave the open frame. Another great match here in the 69th U.S. Open as Pete Weber, the number 4 seed who advanced, taking on Jason Belmonte, the number 2 seed. And they, as was true in the first match, arm in arm down the lanes.
I have a cold. I took NyQuil, but I'm still stuffed up.
Truth is, NyQuil doesn't unstuff your nose.
Really?
Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels fight your worst cold symptoms, plus it relieves your stuffy nose.
Thank you.
That's the cold truth.
Adult contemporary? Ugh, unknown tracks. My music library is a mess. Ah! Bismarck E?
Captain Tune-Up, son. Here to fix your track 01s and your cover art. Fresh.
Track names? Cover art? Clean. You're like a Santa Claus from outer space.
No more track 1s. No more missing cover art. No more duplicates. Tune-Up, you got what I need. Automatically.
Rate hikes, the environment. It's a total mess.
3 Budweisers.
Then you got traffic, fast food.
He probably hasn't had Manny's tacos.
The DMV.
The DVR.
Mondays.
Fridays.
Taxes.
Facebook.
Sunsets. Men in uniform.
Phone bills.
The first kiss. Raw cookie dough.
Salmonella.
Bubble wrap.
Puppy breath.
Oh.
My cute neighbor, Sarah.
You know those lucky dogs who have that perfect amount of gray hair that everyone loves? Now you can be one of them. Touch of Gray combs away a little gray without getting rid of it all. Touch of Gray. Get the best of both.
Jimmy?
Steve?
Badger Sports Park, the Valley's premier family entertainment center. Mini bowling, the Badger Inflatable Arena, a huge game room with over 60 games to enjoy, and our giant 2-story laser tag arena.
It's you in the middle of a high-tech video game.
And when you're hungry, try our delicious homemade Benny Badger pizza, chicken strips, and other delicious food from our kitchen. Indoor entertainment for all ages. Badger Sports Park. Let the games begin.
This is for all the movie streaming internet gamers. Enjoy all the things you love to do online instantly with Time Warner Cable. Say goodbye to buffering. Now everyone can be online at the same time, chatting, shopping, and streaming with our fastest internet. Call 1-800-TW-CABLE for internet plans as low as $19.99 a month and feel the freedom of instant gratification. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
And we come back with some Hall of Famers. Carmen Salvino on the left, in the middle, Johnny Pertaglia and Mark Roth on the right. 3 Hall of Famers in a row. And they all have U.S. Open titles to their credit. And a reminder, coming up, it's Super Tuesday college basketball doubleheader, 7 o'clock. It'll be Michigan State trying to stop the Big Ten against Indiana, and number 9 Eastern. It'll be Florida against Vanderbilt. Super Tuesday presented by KFC, ESPN, ESPN3, streaming live on WatchESPN.com. Randy, how about, we talked about the differentials between these two bowlers. How about the speed?
Speed and line both completely different. You see Pete Weber starting a lot farther left, Jason Belmonte farther right. And look at the speed differential there, how much faster Jason Belmonte's ball gets to the pins before Pete Weber's. So it's really a unique 2 different ways to play the oil pattern here at the U.S. Open, but that's what makes this tournament so great.
In sports, there's somebody called a red hat who stands up on the field or whatever it may be and says, okay, you can play now. After the commercial, we have one of those people working here, and he just got the stare down from Pete.
Everybody's getting the stare down from Pete.
Pete's got it.
It's the U.S. Open.
He's got it wound up for this one, doesn't he? Weber coming off a couple of strikes. Tough lanes.
Coming out of break, not a bad shot. Avoids the split, only leaves the 4-pin.
A little deeper on that lane. And
if he converts, we will be
commercial breaks.
All even through 6.
Entered the Hall of Fame in 1998. Rookie of the Year in 1980. And bowling in a hurry right here for the spare, and he got it. Head to PBA.com to find out how you can join the growing number of fans following the PBA on Twitter. Get tweets featuring a PBA Tour news and tournament update. Find information about linking to the Twitter accounts of your favorite PBA stars. Simply click the Twitter link on the PBA.com homepage to get started. Pete Weber after his 9th major. As we've talked about, Jason Belmonte after his first. Matched up here, trying to move to the championship round, and again, Pete started. Now, we're a long way off from him, so I don't think he heard me talking.
I'm taking cover.
And he's got glass in front of me, so I'm ducking.
I'm hiding behind you. Listen, this is a time where you need to keep your composure, put the distractions behind you, and get up and just take a deep breath and start over. A lot on the line. U.S. Open title. This guy's been here before.
That is the one. At 10.
That's okay. Again, 9 spares are good here, unless your opponent's throwing a lot of strikes, and that usually doesn't happen. You can see Pete Weber is now playing in between the 4th and 5th arrow, right around the 22nd, 23rd board at the arrows. I think ornery is the word that I would use now. Pete's ornery. He's really ornery, and he's really irritated with somebody over there to the right side.
I don't know how he can see anybody moving over there because everyone's so afraid right now. They're absolutely in stiff jackets, refusing to move. Through all of this, Jason Belmonte's going, hey, I want to win. And right now, 3 strikes. They each have 3. And he comes back and gets his 4th.
I mean, that could have been a big 4. This ball just punishes the pins and just kind of pushes everything down. This ball's going to go high, and you're going to watch the 4-7-10 go out late. Speed and power.
He is strong. There you see, just a +1 right now for Belmonte. Trying to pick up his first win in a major. And a back-to-back strikes.
Boy, and that was the big shot of the match for me, Gary, because that was his first opportunity to put a lot of pressure on Pete Weber. Look how big Pete's eyes just got there.
Yep.
He could have really put some pressure on him. He could have doubled up, taken an 11-pin lead, and instead he looks at possibly an open frame.
10, and he does. So an open frame for Jason Belmonte.
Now he's 11 down. He could have been 11 up, working on a double, and in one shot goes from leading to trailing by 11.
Pete Weber talked about that with us last night. There you see how it's gone here. I mean, both have been on and off with the strikes. But Weber said in this tournament in particular, you never know. He said it changes in a heartbeat, and that's exactly what happened. Weber with the lead, trying to extend it. Got it.
We can trip the 4, so can I.
His wife.
Not too many players in the history of this tour that have more Maple Moxie in major championship competition than this guy.
We can trip the 4, so can I.
So Weber's got 4 strikes now. Belmonte with 4. He wants a re-rack.
Now let's see if he can double up and really take advantage of the open frame. Belmonte's max score 215. If Pete strikes here, that'll put him in the 2 teens. But no matter what Belmonte does, if Pete strikes here in the 9th frame, Pete Weber cannot be shut out.
After the strike, not to be shut out. Yeah!
Gary, you know how some people wear Superman pajamas? Well, if there were Pete Weber pajamas, Superman would wear those.
He just wouldn't be as loud.
That is seriously taking advantage of a hole in an open frame at a major championship. Pete Weber, so much experience, steps up and just goes bang, bang, take that.
After that trophy for the 5th time, Jason Belmonte. Got it!
If Belmonte strikes out, he'll shoot 215. If Pete Weber goes 9 spare strike, Pete Weber will shoot 215.
Will youth be served or experience take its place?
The only double for Belmonte came early in the 1st and 2nd frame. Remember the last time on this lane, he went light and left the 210.
Belmonte keeping his hopes alive. Yes, he does.
All right, that puts him in the 200s. If he strikes out, he'll force Weber to throw the first strike in the 10th.
So Belmonte continues to be, as we talked about in this entire U.S. Open, amazingly consistent. Reaching that 200 mark and going over again. Belmonte got it.
Big shot. Hey, Mr. Big Shot. Nice. Nice. Hey, Pete Weber, I'm not going anywhere yet. I know you're that superstar Hall of Famer and all that, but hey, I'm still here, and I want to let you know that I'm not going anywhere just yet. That's 10 back.
He said that it was a kid's dream matchup if he could face Pete Weber. He is, and now he's trying to do one better, beat him. Jason Belmonte to finish it up.
Oh, no.
That's big. He just lost.
Just missed it. Just.
He just lost 2 pins and count. Weber can now go 9 spare 9 and win by 1 pin.
Just missed it.
9 spare 9 is all Weber needs. 8 spare strike gets it done. 9 spare 9. A strike on the first ball, Weber advances.
Oh, this is my second. Oh, I was like, all right.
Loose.
I don't remember taking 2 yet.
I don't like him like that. Remember when he gets loose? Remember when he was loose in the first match? Halfway through that first match, he was trailing.
Come on.
And remember the last time on this right lane, he went trip 4. He went a little high and went trip 4.
Come on, buddy, right here. This is it. This is it.
Weber trying to advance a strike here would set him up. He got it. So, Pete Weber.
Great bowlers here, man.
Best Jason Belmonte.
And there's going to be plenty more times for us, too.
I don't know, but he's angry at somebody over there on the left side of the stadium because he just went over there and gave him the business. He's got to stay behind the foul line.
He does.
Weber's going to bowl for the title.
So Pete Weber has advanced to face the number 1 seed. Weber going after an historic 5th U.S. Open championship, something nobody else has done. And he has won the first 2, trying to do it, coming from the number 4 seed. The veteran who said, the youngsters want me to retire, and I keep saying I'm still around.
I have a cold. I took NyQuil, but I'm still stuffed up.
Truth is, NyQuil doesn't unstuff your nose.
Really?
Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels fights your worst cold symptoms, plus it relieves your stuffy nose.
Thank you.
That's the cold truth.
I'm a competition of the shining sun. The heart of a lion, I'm number 1. My game is hot and I just begun. You can't fake my style, sick tricks my win. You just can't go where I have been.
I leave micro shaves to Barbasol.
Boom! Now take that can and shake it. So steady, we ready. We ready.
Better buy Barbasol.
뭐 도와드릴까요?
Do you have anything for a headache like Excedrin or Bayer aspirin? Oh, no. I'm not having a heart attack. It's my head.
No, Bayer Advanced Aspirin. This is made for pain.
Bayer Advanced Aspirin has microparticles, enters the bloodstream fast, and safely rushes extra strength relief to the site of your tough pain.
Feel better?
Yeah, thanks for the tip.
For fast, powerful pain relief, use Bayer Advanced Aspirin.
That right there reminds you why you fell in love with her in the first place and why you still feel the same. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment's right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is the only daily ED tablet approved to treat ED and symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medications and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sexual activity. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or if you have any allergic reactions such as rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a 30-tablet free trial.
I have a cold. I took NyQuil, but I'm still stuffed up.
Truth is, NyQuil doesn't unstuff your nose.
Really?
Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels fight your worst cold symptoms, plus it relieves your stuffy nose.
Thank you.
That's the cold truth.
ESPN, the home court of college hoops. For the win! The great moments. Just keep on coming.
Syracuse undefeated no more.
And college game day is right in the thick of it.
This is not just a regular game. This is a huge game. How can you lose in this atmosphere?
Saturdays on ESPN and ESPNU.
The 69th U.S. Open is brought to you by Bayer. Try Bayer Advanced Aspirin. Extra strength pain relief. Twice as fast as before. By Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. Biotonic. Power up your game. And by Ebonite. Bowl to win. A reminder, the Big East, Big 12 takes center stage. It's ESPN's Big Monday doubleheader, 7 o'clock. Syracuse looking for first place to hang on to. Takes on Notre Dame. And at 9, it'll be Kansas. They are fighting for the top spot in the Big 12. They take on Oklahoma State. Big Monday presented by Bud Light, ESPN, ESPN 3, streaming on WatchESPN.com and Watch ESPN app. And time for our Geico Championship recap. What we've seen, Randy.
Match number 1, Ryan Schaefer had a chance to get up in the 10th, put some heat on Weber. Goes through the nose to leave only the 3-pin. Weber steps up. How about that? Tripping the 9 forward. Sends a little ham bone towards you and I in the booth. Shoots 223, knocks out Schaefer's 191. Then in match number 2, he takes on the two-handed phenom from Australia, Jason Belmonte. Jason's fill shot, he leaves the 2-8, which leaves the door wide open for Weber. Weber steps up. Was there any doubt?
Not in his mind. So Pete Weber is really putting on a show here, and he is advanced now from number 4 into the final, and he just looks strong. He looks very calm, very relaxed, obviously very focused and into this thing. But this is going to be an interesting final.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Mike Fagan plays the lanes. We saw what Belmonte did. He used a little different strategy in trying to go straight and a lot more firm up the lane. It didn't work out for him. Weber's got a great ball reaction. Weber's been here so many times at a United States Open that it's no longer a pressure thing for Pete, but it is for Mike Fagan. Even though Fagan's coming off of a major win, his first major win just a few weeks ago when he won the Masters, lots and lots of pressure on Fagan. He's going to feel it. And Weber, man, I mean, this is his tournament. It's his tournament to win.
And one of the things that's interesting, and you get different reactions to it, if you're sitting there watching as the number 1 seed, are you better off, or are you better off to be in Weber's situation where you have bowled your way through, you're in some kind of a groove, you're warmed up and ready to go?
I think the advantage is all Weber's because of those reasons that you just mentioned. As long as the oil pattern is holding up enough for Pete to play that inside line, feed the ball a little bit to the right, and get it to turn the corner and knock all 10 down when he hits the pocket, I mean, the stars are aligned for Weber to win his 5th U.S. Open.
All right, let's see if those stars stay aligned. We talked about stars, Hall of Famers who are here.
Some of the greatest that have ever won U.S. Open, starting with the great Dick Weber. He was a 4-time U.S. Open winner. Then who can forget the great Dave Husted, the only player to ever successfully defend a U.S. Open title. And then my buddy, the great Marshall Holman, a 2-time winner. Holman beat Roth for his first U.S. Open win. How about Johnny Petraglia, who pretty much put Carolier Lanes on the map where we're at right now? He shot 279 against Bill Spigner to win his U.S. Open. And then there he is, the great one, Mark Roth, taking down Guppy Troop at the 1984 U.S. Open.
Back majors, or will Weber make bowling history and win? No one else has done his 5th.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Hey there, big guy. You know, you look a little tired. Why don't you come over here and sit down? Yeah, come on. That's right,
Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wild side.
Your cheating heart will make you weak.
Pepsi Max? Really? Bet you're wondering how they got all that Pepsi taste into a zero-calorie cola.
Yeah.
Sir, you have won Pepsi Max for life!
I'm back, and you're my first guest.
It's Reach!
You're gonna be famous, kid.
The United States Bowling Congress is shaping the future of bowling, helping kids learn the sport the right way and awarding thousands of scholarships every year. USBC supports Special Olympics and America's best when they go for the gold as the home and heart of Team USA. We're reaching for new heights in research, raising the bar with spectacular national tournaments, and have raised millions of dollars to help fight cancer and support veterans. Visit bowl.com to learn more.
Really? What? I didn't know how much to pack this season.
Mike, we wash our dishes in that sink.
Yeah, it's also where I wash my briefs. Socks are done. How'd you guys sleep? You sleep good?
ESPN, your NBA destination for games Wednesdays and Fridays.
I want to ride.
I want to ride.
I want to ride.
Spring is the time for a brand new Honda. Right now, get up to $300 in bonus bucks on select ATVs. Up to $800 in select cruisers. Plus low fixed APR financing. All at your local Honda dealer.
This job is wearing me out.
Hey, you should try Eruption. It's all natural energy you can add to any liquid. And it's only 10 calories. Best of all, it doesn't taste like other energy products.
10 calories, all natural, tastes great?
Yep.
Impossible.
Come on, try it. Fizz, 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 fizz. Who's your buddy? Booyah.
Add energy to any liquid with Eruption. Now available at your local store.
The 2011 U.S. Open is, without a doubt, the most unforgettable finish in this major's history. Mika Koivuniemi going up against Hall of Famer Norm Duke. In the 10th frame, Koivuniemi needed to convert a 10-pin spare in order to claim the title. He missed, handing Duke his second U.S. Open championship. And there's going to be another champion shortly. There you see our title match. Number 4 seed Pete Weber and the number 1 seed Mike Fagan will now go at it.
Weber's averaging 224 for the day, and that's usually good enough to win a U.S. Open.
And let's look at our keys to victory, brought to you by the makers of Alka-Seltzer Plus Liquid Gels.
Mike Fagan's got a draw off of his Masters win, his lone major victory.
He feels he's bowling as well as he ever has coming into the U.S. Open. He thinks that victory that he got at the Masters gave him great confidence. For Pete Weber.
Can Pete Weber keep the intensity at the same level it's been at all afternoon?
We are about to find out. Notice how quiet we are here on the 18th green. He's earned that. And we're underway.
Okay. Easy there. You don't want to start the championship match of the U.S. Open with a big 4 split. Pete's got that axis rotation working. You can see that ball feeds out to about the 10th, 11th board and then starts to bite a little bit too soon. But only leaving the 4-pin. Again, that's key.
Weber after the spare. He will get it. And now we will get to see for the first time today the number 1 seed.
The tournament leader is a 3-time PBA Tour champion, including the 2012 Masters. From Dallas, Texas, the king of swing, Mike Fagan.
Fagan's family is on hand to watch. Ralph and Kathy, his parents. Emily Mayer, his girlfriend. I'll tell you, talk about two players who bowl with an immense amount of intensity. You've got two of them here in Fagan and Weber.
But two completely types. You know, Weber's all out there. He puts it right out there in front of your face. Fagan he possesses more of that, like, that silent lucidity. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of keeps it inside. You don't really know it's out there, and then all of a sudden it might appear. Weber, not so much. All in your face all the time.
We're going to keep an eye out for that silent lucidity. I can tell you that. So that's going to go as a spare. He had a chance to jump early, so the first chance to do something with it, not quite.
Remember last time we saw Mike Fagan was at the USBC Masters taking on Chris Barnes. Fagan throws a four-bagger to pull even with Barnes. Barnes goes through the nose. Fagan seals the deal right there with that hit and wins his first major.
He waited for you to complete.
Silent lucidity.
Silent lucidity.
There he is.
There it is right there.
You don't see that, you know, the big hooping it up and running it out, and only when it matters.
After he wins. And he'll come in to get the strike.
I'll tell you what, this guy, Mike Fagan, has really impressed me this season. He's really come of age, and he really started to believe in himself and in his game, and when that happened, he won a major. Now he's bowling for a second major. Back-to-back major victories are certainly very possible in the near future for Mike Fagan.
And Pete Weber's after that 5th U.S. Open title, something nobody else, even his dad, did not do.
Interesting ball change on the right lane for Weber.
That pin has stood up all day. That
really?
10.
Do that again.
He is still talking to somebody over there.
I mean, are we watching a bowling match or a boxing match?
I don't know
What's going
what
on?
that is.
Got it. It's called sportsmanship, pal.
God, I wish we knew who he was talking to.
We've been watching over there trying to figure out who it is, but I can't. I don't know who it is he's talking to.
Somebody's rooting against Pete over there on that side, and they just said something when Pete left the ringing 10, and Pete doesn't like it and gave it right back to him. At some point, you just got to say, hey, you know what? Just leave it alone. Continue on. Just ignore it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's move on. Let's bowl.
This is the championship match for the 69th U.S. Open. The other side.
Wow. Weber goes high the first frame on that lane, comes back and leaves a ring and 10 on the right lane, comes back on the left lane only to leave a 4-pin. Both players playing similar lines now. It's not like we saw in the last match where Belmonte was a good 10 or 15 boards right of where Weber's playing. These guys are right on top of each other, playing the same zone, playing the same part of the lane.
And we'll get his spare. So Pete Weber gets the spare and gives the stare.
You know, and the thing about it is that Mike Fagan is from New York. We're in New Jersey. I'm going to have to say that Weber's probably not the favorite in this match.
Based on the applause we heard while we were in commercial break, Fagan actually outdrew him in applause a little bit. Not by much. But he's got a lot of fans on hand here.
Vintage Weber all day long.
Yep.
Great television.
Mike Fagan, number 1 seed. Got it. So he's rolling. fresh off his last win. What would it mean to win here? Everything. Absolutely everything. He said this is the biggest title in bowling as far as he's concerned. Couple of strikes. He's already faced Pete Weber once this week in match play. Won. He can do it again. Championship is his. And he'll leave the 10.
Nope.
10 has had a mind of its own over on that lane.
He bowled Jason Belmonte in position round last night. The winner of the match would claim the #1 seed. Mike fell behind early in the match, made a ball change, and just ran all over Jason Belmonte, stringing strikes. Jason struggled with some really bad pin carry, but again, it's all about the maturation process that Mike Fagan has gone through in the last year. This is a different guy now. Physically, we all knew that he had some really unique tools, but mentally, he's really got it now, and he believes in himself, and you can see it. His performance this season has been living up to the hype, if you will. The physical ability being there, all the talent being there, and now all of a sudden he's got it mentally. Scary combination.
And Pete Weber finds himself behind early, which has happened in the first two matches. Found that one. Even early on here in this match, each of these players has had an opportunity to try and jump out a little bit. Neither's been able to do it yet. Steve Johnson is their executive director, PBAA.
Yeah, and keep in mind that the BPAA still holds qualifying in their centers throughout the country for the U.S. Open each and every year. So special thanks to Steve and the BPAA.
Even he's being quiet.
Here's the ball change now on the left lane. Remember, the last two shots on the left lane were both high. Weber using the same ball in both lanes now.
After his first back-to-back strikes. And the ball change, still can't get the 10.
God, that was a good shot, too.
Okay, so now he's going to have to do it with hand. He's got kind of the look that he's looking for, something a little cleaner through the front part of the lane, but now he's got to give it some more hand, maybe a little bit more axis rotation to get the ball to face the pins properly.
So only one strike. But in this tournament, that is often decided by spares. Weber's able to get it, but he again has opened the door for Fagan, who's got a couple of strikes. And here's another chance for one of these bowlers to try and jump a little bit if he can come away with a strike.
Average 217.5 for his qualifying, 217 for match play. Not sure if 217 will be enough to win the U.S. Open title, but right now it's looking like it's not a bad number.
Fagan leading the season in earnings and average. And came back. Wow.
This ball actually was fed a little farther right and overhooked, going through the nose, leaving the 4-9 split. Watch this. It looks like it's right of target and actually overhooks. Terrible break, leaving both the 4 and the 9. See if Mike Fagan can slide the 4-pin into the 9-pin and stay clean.
We've had only 3 strikes between the two. Fagan with 2 and Weber with 1 here in the final. These are the strikes we've talked about throughout the day. You've got to make these spares. Leaves it open.
What separates great champions from champions is how he recovers from that shot. this the biggest stage of his career, his young career. How does he rebound from a bad break of a 4-9 split? I mean, he's done it all week long. He's performed flawlessly. This is your number one seed, your tournament leader, fresh off of his first major victory just a few weeks ago at the Masters. Now, how does Mike Fagan rebound from the 4-9 split in the fifth frame?
Fagan trying to win the back-to-back majors. Norm Duke, the last one to do that, was in 08. In fact, he ran off 3 wins in majors that year. See how he reacts to that last one. Gets it back and gets the strike. There's the answer, Randy.
And that's a good sign. He comes right back. He trusts it to the right. Gives it a great touch. Comes in a little bit light carrying the Wally. That's good to see, though. That's the sign of a guy that's able to rebound from adversity.
Right here, will you? Just let it go. Nice and easy, good shot.
Pete Weber being his own best counsel.
Leading by 2 halfway through.
Coming off a spare. Came back. Again high. 6-10.
With a spare, we're all tied up. Fagan's working on a strike.
Stay down with it, Pete. Stay down with the ball.
It looked like he tried to help that one, and when he did, the ball checked early and went through the nose.
He's had only 1 strike in this match, and we'll get another spare. And you could see a little thankful that that one came through.
Remember how dialed in he was the first 2 matches, using the same bowling ball for both matches? Well, now he's changed to a different piece of equipment, and the reason is because the oil pattern has changed enough to where he had to make an adjustment. He wasn't able to stay in that comfy zone for more than 2 games. He had to go to something a little less aggressive as he continued to migrate towards the center part and left part of the lane.
So he gets his first strike on that lane and just his second of this match. So he keeps the pressure on.
Gary, I told you it's going to be all about touch now for Pete to get his ball to face the 1-3 pocket the right way and get all 10 to go down. It's all going to be touch and feel at the bottom of the swing.
Pete Weber will watch now as Mike Fagan will come back. Fagan has 3 strikes, including 1 in the 6th. Even.
Last time on this lane, 4-9 split.
Big bend and got him. Ooh, thank you. Let me gently walk away.
Well, the last time on this lane, remember he lives a 4-9 split. This time, almost a pocket 7-10. Light squish zone, ball goes in. Scatters the 7, and then the 10 goes out. A little redemption for Mike Fagan on the right lane, and he takes a 10-pin lead.
That's his 4th strike, 2 in a row. So here's another really big. They're all big balls here, but this is a real chance now if he can throw another strike here. Fagan, the number 1 seed, trying to beat Pete Weber. There's that 10. Each time so far in this match where either bowler has had the opportunity to really jump a little bit in that lead, not been able to do it.
Not easy to strike on a U.S. Open oil pattern. You see that the last 2 strikes we saw, both players came in a little light. Mike Fagan trips out the 7-10. Weber just that little swish zone. Fagan comes back, throws a good shot, leaving the soft 10.
Fagan after the spare.
Still a 9-pin advantage. Weber working on a strike, but Weber has yet to throw 2 strikes in a row.
So he's going to re-rack here. Coming up next week, coverage of the World Series of Bowling continues. The Geico Shark Open. Mike Koviemi, Chris Barnes, Jason Belmonte, and Sean Rash will square off an eliminator competition. That's going to be next Sunday at 3 Eastern. Boy, we have had great matches here. And this one, the final for the championship of the 69th Open, following right in line with the others. Whoever the number 4 seed trying to win it, having to climb the entire ladder to get there. And Fagan waiting, watching the number 1 seed, bowling for the first and most important time today.
That's got a hook. Oh, baby, yeah!
He knew it.
And with that shot there, he takes a 1-pin lead. Weber's got to somehow summon his greatest shots in the next 3 frames.
That's got a hook. Oh, baby, yeah!
And when I say 3 frames, I mean 9th, 10th, and 11th. If Pete Weber strikes out, he'll shoot 236. The best Mike Fagan can shoot is 225. If Pete strikes here in the 9th, nothing Mike Fagan can do can shut out Pete Weber and his quest for his 5th United States Open victory.
After 3 consecutive strikes. Got it!
That's a bad man. I don't know what else to say. That's just what a great touch that Weber put on this shot here, along with the last 2 for a 3-bagger. There's that sick rotation. And there's the Pete Weber vintage reaction.
So now it's up to Mike Fagan to try and keep himself alive here. Coming off a spare. Both have had 4 strikes in the match. Focus, focus.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good right there.
Yeah, that was very good right there, given the circumstances. That was just a great shot. And the last thing Mike Fagan needed to see was an ugly, vicious, ringing 10-pin.
Fagan after that spare, and he's got it, but that's not what he wanted there after that strike, and couldn't get it.
All right, if Mike Fagan strikes out, he shoots 214. Right now, Weber's going at 216. We've seen it happen before. We saw it happen last year at last year's U.S. Open when Norm Duke got up and threw the last 4 in a row to force Mika Koivuniemi to mark. Mika gets up and leaves the ringing 10 and misses it to give Norm Duke the U.S. Open title. Now, Mike Fagan needs all 3 in the 10th frame to make Pete Weber show up in the 10th.
Weber finally looks up, watching Fagan. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Keep the thumb on. Some very pressured bowling going on here in this final. Now he wants to do it again.
Remember, the last 3 strikes that Weber's thrown have not been picture perfect. In fact, I believe all 3 have been in the light swish zone area. It's not like it's 10 in the pit. 2 more strikes here for Fagan. Anything can happen. Weber's been sitting on the bench now for a while. He watched the 9th frame. Fagan has to finish the 10th frame. Weber's sitting. Weber's 49 years old.
Body stiffens up a little.
Yeah, you never know.
Wow. Boy, you talk about getting them when you needed them. The number 1 seed, Mike Fagan, coming through with the strikes that he had to have. And now down 2. So Fagan will finish it up. And that'll give Weber time to sit and think.
Fagan's in no hurry to finish this.
No.
You notice how much times?
No.
I mean, he's not doing anything wrong. I mean, as long as he throws this shot within the 25-second shot clock, but he's using all of it right now, making Weber think about this next shot he has to throw.
Fagan finishing it up with a strike. 3 in a row for Mike Fagan.
All right, it's simple for Pete Weber. 9 spare strike, Weber wins by 1. A strike here in the first ball, Weber wins his 5th United States Open championship. If Weber gets 8 on this first ball, we have the possibility of a tie. If Weber gets anything less than 8 on this first ball, Fagan wins. Weber taking a re-rack.
No, I was talking about the second find.
Even more time in between this shot here and the strike he threw in the 9th frame.
I don't think his wife Tracy is going to be able to watch as loose as we've seen him all day with a smile. Pete Weber after the 5th U.S. Open championship. Fagan will watch. No one's ever won 5. Hands up. That's it. Not yet.
My goodness. What a great shot Weber just threw right there. He needs to convert the 10-pin here, and he needs to strike on his fill. This was about as good as you could possibly throw a 15-pound round bowling ball, and Weber can't believe the 10-pin standing. He's got to make it.
He thought he had that.
Got to make it.
For the spare, he's missed one, but not that one.
He's got to have a strike. If he gets 9, we have a tie, and we'll go to sudden death. If he gets anything less than 8, Fagan wins sitting on the bench. Excuse me, anything less than 9, Fagan wins sitting on the bench.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it!
That is right. I did it. That's number 5. Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am. David Wright.
Bowling history. The only player ever to win 5 U.S. Opens. Pete Weber.
Great bowling, man. Great bowling. Nice bowling this week. Really.
This might be the best title in my life. I love it. Mom, what do you think? Dad, I know you're watching too.
He said this would be the highlight of my career. He got it.
I have a cold. I took NyQuil, but I'm still stuffed up.
Truth is, NyQuil doesn't unstuff your nose.
Really?
Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels fights your worst cold symptoms, plus it relieves your stuffy nose.
Thank you.
That's the cold truth.
Well, online dating services can get kind of expensive, so to save money, I found a new way to get my profile out there.
Check me out. Everybody says I've got a friendly disposition and they love my spinach dip. 5'10".
Still doing a little exploring on it.
My sign is Sagittarius, I'm into Spanish cheese. My hairline is receding, but I'm getting a weed.
There's an easier way to save.
What's on Ronald tonight?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I have COPD. If you have it, you know how hard it can be to breathe and what that feels like. COPD includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Spiriva helps control my COPD symptoms by keeping my airways open a full 24 hours. Plus, it reduces COPD flare-ups. Spiriva is the only once-daily inhaled COPD maintenance treatment that does both, and it's steroid-free.
Spiriva does not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms. Tell your doctor if you have kidney problems, glaucoma, trouble urinating, or an enlarged prostate. These may worsen with Spiriva. Discuss all medicines you take, even eye drops. Stop taking Spiriva and seek immediate medical help if your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, vision changes or eye pain, or problems passing urine. Other side effects include dry mouth and constipation.
Nothing can reverse COPD. Spiriva helps me breathe better.
Does breathing with COPD weigh you down? Ask your doctor if Spiriva can help.
I'm a competition of the shining sun, the heart of a lion. I'm number one. My game is hot and I just begun. You can't fake my style, sick tricks my win. You just can't go where I have been.
I leave my crochets to Barbasol.
Boom! Now take that can and shake it. So steady, we ready. So steady, we ready.
Better buy Barbasol.
When you have tough pain, do you want fast relief? Try Bayer Advanced Aspirin. It has microparticles, so it enters the bloodstream fast and rushes relief to the site of your tough pain. It's proven to relieve pain twice as fast as before. Bayer Advanced Aspirin.
Jimmy?
Steve?
The 69th U S Open is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. By Hammer Bowling, nothing hits like a hammer. By Barbasol, start your day cool with new Arctic Chill shaving cream from Barbasol. Better buy Barbasol. And by Rotogrip, the fastest growing bowling ball brand in the world. Rotogrip is king of them all. And speaking of king of them all, here's the shot that won it to Pete Weber. Pete Weber came in as the number 4 seed. He is number 1 when the day is done. There you see the final. One pin, 215 to 214 over Michael Fagan. And makes bowling history. And with it, here's Randy.
Thanks, Gary. I'm here with the Webers. Pete, one of the most exciting U.S. Opens that I can remember. Take us through the 10th frame, and specifically the fill shot. What went through your mind?
I guess I kind of like Norm. I really don't know what to say, you know. I knew I needed a strike to win, or a 9 spare strike to win. I got up, and I threw the first one just as good as I threw the second one. I'm really shocked that the first one didn't strike, but, you know, you can still, in this game, you still throw it the best you can, still get 9. But then again, I came back, and I threw it just as good as the first shot, and all 10 went down, and I'm ecstatic. I don't know what to do.
What do you think your dad would say if he was still here?